Good morning, children. Today we are starting the new lesson, lesson number 7, that is metals and non-metals. Okay, now you just tell me some of the examples of metals. Yes, just you note down in your notebook. So I will tell you the name metals. Which are the metals? The gold metals, gold, silver, then iron. Afterwards, that copper, aluminium, these are the metals. And which are the non-metals? That is coal, sulfur. Okay, these are the non-metals. Oxygen, it is also non-metal. Now, so what are the three types in which elements are generally classified? Okay, so these three types are: first, that is metals; second, non-metals; and third, metalloids. Okay, metals and metals and non-metals, you know. And metalloid, that is the means this concept, it may be new for you. The metalloids are those which shows the characteristics of metals and non-metals both, and that's why they are called as a metalloids. Okay, now what are the metals and non-metals that we use everyday life? So first of all, which metals we are using in our daily life, everyday life? So first, metal, that gold articles is that your mother is wearing. Okay, then our that water utensils are there, that is made up of copper. Water utensils are there, it is made up of copper. Then afterwards, in our home, that pan is there, okay, for making bhakri, that is made up of iron. भाकरी तवा वी आर सेइंग, तवा म्हणतो ना भाकरीचा, तो आयर्नचा असतो, इट इज आयर्न. Then afterwards, our that utensils we are using, okay, that is also made up of what? Metals. Then next, in our home, the grills are there, that is also made up of iron. Then afterwards, some of the steel is there that we are using as a, these are the metals that we are using. Aluminium utensils are there in our home. Okay, now which are the non-metals that we are using? That is, clothes are there. Afterwards, plastic it is there that we are using. Okay, then so many things are there that are non-metals that we are using in our everyday life. All the objects, material in the world are made up of elements, compounds and their mixtures. Okay, element, compounds and the mixture that we had studied in last lesson, that is composition of matter. Scientists classified elements into three general types, and which are those? Metals, non-metals and the metalloids. These are the three types. In this, what happens? Scientists classify all the elements into the world. Now first we will see the metal. So which are the metals that we know? Just now I told you in our home which metals we are using. Gold is there, silver articles are there, iron, copper, aluminium. These things are there, that is present in our home. But magnesium, it is in the laboratory, it is there. Then calcium it is there, it is present in the food material. Sodium, platinum is the what? Most valuable thing. And few metals are there. Metals have luster. What is luster? Luster means shine. What is luster? Luster means shine. The metals are hard. You just take any metal from your home. You take any iron article. If you are taking tawa, I said you that pan. Okay, if you say it is made up of the iron, and it is very hard. Wire, sheet can be from them made metals. Okay, so wire and sheets are there, it is made up of from the metals, and reason behind it is that they are hard. Metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. That is also the important property, and because of it, what happens? Our kitchen utensils are there that we are that are made up of from the metals. The what? They are good conductors of heat and electricity also. Electricity inside, so the wires are there in our home appliances inside. Otherwise, the wires are there inside it, copper and which aluminum wires are used because they are good conductors of electricity. Okay, understood all of you why we are using metals for make in our kitchen? Because they are good conductors of heat and electricity also. Metals lose their valence electron to produce positive charged ions. What they told you, metals are there, they lose their electrons, means they have the tendency, just we seen the example, that is suppose for example sodium is a metal, its atomic number is 11. So in first orbit how many electrons are there? 2 electrons are there. Second orbit inside how many electrons are there? 8 electrons are there in the second orbit. And so 2 plus 8 is equal to 10, and last one remain, that is present in outermost orbit, and the sodium has only 1 electron in the outermost orbit, means its valency is 1. Okay, and to obtain octave, this metal, what happens, it is better for this sodium to donate 1 electron instead of taking 7 electrons. Okay, and that's why this 1 electron is there, it is donating, and means here they gave you, that is metals lose their valence electron. So which is the valence electron here in this? The valence electron is, this is the valence electron, and that valence electron is there, it donates or give, and then what happens, it get the positive charge. For example sodium, positive charge how it gets, just I told you, it's a sodium is there. Okay, sodium is there. After donating 1 electron, how many protons are present? As you know that sodium, how many what is its atomic number of sodium? The atomic number of sodium is, just now I told you, the atomic number of sodium is how much? 11. Means it has how many protons? It has protons is equals to how many protons it has? 11 protons and 11 neutrons, and electrons are how much it is there? 11 only. So just now we seen the structure, this is the structure. Suppose it has 2 electrons in the first orbit, 8 electrons in the second orbit, and 1 electron in the last orbit. And what happens, this is the electron, last electron, it donates. Now if it donates, how many for obtain the octave? Now sodium atomic number, just now I told you 11, protons is equals to how many? 11 only. Neutrons 11 only, but electron, after donating 1 electron, it has how many electrons with it? 10 electrons are there in his with it, and that's why what happens, the number of protons are more than the number of electrons by 1, and that's why they get 1 positive charge, means 1 electron they donate. So 1 positive charge, how they are getting? They are writing Na plus, means they have 1 positive charge. In that way we have to write this. Now see here what they gave you. So just now I told you how metals lose their electrons and produce positive charge ions, and that's why it is called as a cation. So it is Na plus is a cation because it has 1 proton more than that of the what? Electrons. Now the next point is the physical properties of metal. As just now you seen that physical properties inside, I told you they have luster, they are hard, they are, you can make sheet from it, that only things are there, but we will study it in the study this. First physical state. Generally you take the examples of metal. Which are the metals are there? All. Iron is there, gold, silver. Okay, so what is the state at normal temperature? Yes, it is correct, that is all the metals are, generally all the metals are in solid state. In which state? The solid state at normal temperature. So what they told you, in ordinary temperature metals stay in the solid state, but they also have some exceptions. And which are those exceptions? Those are the mercury and the gallium. These are the metals, but at normal temperature they are present in which state? Liquid state. Okay, these are the metals which are present in the liquid state at normal temperature. Okay, now the next is, it is the so mercury and gallium are there, they are present in the liquid state. So in exam they may be ask you such a questions. Okay, so they in odd man out, suppose in odd man out they will give you carbon, then oxygen, then afterwards sulfur, and at last they maybe give you gallium. At last means in that only one, GALLIUM. So which is the odd from this? You must know that the name is different, but it is the liquid and it is the metal liquid and it is the exception. So such a type of examples that is confusing. So exception you must learn. You generally knows the which are the metals called metals, because you can identify easily, you are using, but these are their exceptions. They are present in the different state, and that's how you have to learn it perfectly. So at ordinary temperature, carbon is a non-metal, oxygen is not a metal, sulfur is also non-metal, but gadolinium is a metal and it is present in liquid state in the which that is the normal temperature. So which are the liquid state even at room temperature? So these are mercury and the gallium are there, which are present in the liquid state at normal temperature. Okay, so physical state, all the metals are what? They are in solid state at normal temperature, except whom? That is mercury and the gallium. Now next second, where it is? Here it is. Now second, can you tell questions is, you might have seen the doctor's pressure guide, a measure to measure the blood pressure. During your visit to dispensary, accompanying to relative, in that you might have seen a grey colored liquid in the glass tube, and that is which metal? That metal is called as it is mercury. Okay. So here in this BP machine, that is pressure, this question inside what they are asking to us, that is we seen the doctor's pressure gauge to measure the blood pressure during the visit to dispensary, accompanying your relative. With your relative, if you go to the doctor, what happens? He is checking the blood pressure, and in that blood pressure machine in glass tube also, inside also the liquid metal is present like mercury. Okay, and this is also the metal. Next it is luster. Luster means what? Luster means shine. Take copper vessel of your home and scrub with the lemon. If you scrub with the lemon and rinse with the water, you will see that it shines. It gives a what? Shine, and this is nothing but it is a luster. That luster before and after cleaning, light gets reflected from clean and freshly cut surface of the metal. Okay, and metal looks lustrous. Okay, so luster is the property of metals. Just now we seen first property is the what? The physical at a normal temperature they are in the generally solid state. Then they are good conductors of heat and electricity, and same it is the luster is also the property of the what? Metals. Luster means shine. Next it is the hardness, means they are hard. Generally metals are hard, not soft. Okay, exception which is the soft metal, that is sodium. You know that sodium is like a butter, it is very soft. Potassium, it is also soft and can easily be cut by knife. So the sodium and potassium are there that we can cut very easily by knife. But which metals that I told you? These are other metals except sodium and potassium, all are the hard. Now the next property of metal is the which? Ductility. Duct means what? We can take out the thread from the thread like part. So duct, you have ever gone to a goldsmith shop? Yes, we are going with our parents. Have you seen the goldsmith making a wire from gold or silver? He is making wires from gold and silver. If not gone, you had not seen, then also you just open the wire, unused wire, and if you see inside it, you will notice that the gold, copper and silver colored, that is aluminium wires are present inside the wires. Okay, and this type of wire we can take out from the metals only. So here goldsmith inside what? Gold and silver ducts they are he take out. When a metal is pulled through a hole, its wire is form. Okay, and this property of metal is called as a ductility, means we can make the duct from these metals, and that property is called as a ductility. Like duct, we can make sheet also from the sheet also from metals, and that property is called as a malleability. Which property? Malleability. Take a iron nail, place on a platform and keep hammering on it. After some time you will notice that the thin sheet of is forming. It forms the thin sheet. Okay, as you know that on our floors are also what happens, we are using the sheets of iron, and these sheets are nothing but what? These are the thin sheets of metals, and this property of the metal is called as a malleability of the metals. Okay, now the next is the conduction of heat. As you know that conduction of heat, just for that purpose, just in first inside I told you they are good conductors of the heat and electricity, and here they are good conductors of heat, and reason behind it is that these only they are good conductors of heat, who? Metals, and that's why we are using the kitchen utensils made up of which? Metals. Take a copper plate and fix some wax. This is the copper, suppose rod we are taking, and we have to fix some nails on it. That activity I think I shown you, not to you, last year, and we have to give heat to it. You will notice that if we provide heat, the first nail first falls, then afterwards second nail falls, then third nail falls, and this is because of when we provide heat to metal, then what happens? The heat is what happens, move forward. As you know that sometimes what happens, your mother is cooking food, at that time by mistake that spoon, otherwise the frying pan is there, it becomes hot, and when we touch to it what happens, our hand get burn, and that is why, because that spoon is there which we are keeping inside the vegetable, that also what happens, we are not giving direct heat to it, then also what happens, it becomes hot, because of which reason? That is conduction of the heat. Means this is suppose spoon, when we are putting inside this is spoon suppose. Okay, when we are putting in the kadhai, that time what happens, because of this hot vegetable, the heat enter inside the spoon, and slowly it what happens, come towards this side, and when this get hot, we are not understanding, and by mistake we get our hand burn. Metals are good conductors of heat. So silver, copper, aluminium are the best conductors of the heat. Who? Silver, copper and aluminium. Next, it is the conduction of electricity. Like heat, they are the good conductors of electricity also. Which metals are used to make the electrical wire? Yes, correct. It is copper and aluminium. Metals are good conductors of electricity. Lead is an exception. Okay, lead you knows where it is present. Lead means your pencil. Pencil inside that lead is there, no, black color substance, that is the lead, and that lead is the what happens, it is good conductor of electricity. Actually lead is a non-metal, and then also what happens, it is a good conductor of electricity. So with metals, lead is good conductor of electricity, but it is exception. Okay, why? Because it is a non-metal, which neither good conductor of heat nor good conductor of electricity. Okay, but means this is the what happens, example, this is means the metals are good conductor of electricity too. Next point is the density. So metals have high density. Sodium, potassium, lithium are the exceptions. Okay, sodium, potassium, lithium, they have exception, having lower density than the water, and the density of lithium is only 0.53 gram per cubic centimeter. Cc for cubic centimeter, G for gram per cubic centimeter. Okay, so it is long form of it. So density is there, all metals have high density, but which are the exceptions for this? Sodium, potassium and the lithium are the exception. Now next, it is the melting point and the boiling point. Okay, now here generally metals have high melting points. Okay, their melting point is more and boiling point is also more, but which are the exception here? Hg, that is mercury, gallium, sodium and the potassium. These are the exception, means these are the things or the metals whose melting and boiling points are what? Less. Now next is the sonority. This is the metal. What is the metal that your school bell is made up of? Yes, it is made up of copper, otherwise iron. How does the bell is function? Once we rang it, then what happens? Its voice is what happens? We can hear that sound of for some time. Okay. Then sometime, and that property is called as a sonority property. Okay, understand? So these all are the properties of the metals. Okay, and these properties are, because of these properties the metals are, what happens, we can identify. So which are the properties that we studied? That is physical state, all metals are in solid state. Luster, the metals have the property of luster. They are harder metals. We can take out thread from it, we can make the sheet from it. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. They have high density, and their melting and boiling points are also have, and they show the special property, that is the sonority. If something is fall utensil at home, then what happens? Then also inside it, what happens? We can see the sound of it. Okay, so today we will stop here only. All of you note down these properties of the metals in your notebook. Okay, thank you and have a good day.